Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Las Vegas Live. I'm your host, Adam Torres, and each and every week I bring you the best of what to do in Las Vegas and what's going on around town. This week, I am proud to announce that we're going to give you a little preview of what's coming up next week, but I want you to get planning. So I'm actually going to be doing the very first in-person event for Las Vegas Live. It's going to be at the Bellagio on July 7th. So I can't make that the top thing to do this week because it's not until next week, but July 7th, I'll be at the Bellagio. And just so you know, this is going to be a week-long event. So July 7th is my main day, but it's going to be part of the overall SEICon event that's going to bring together some of the top names in sports, entertainment, and innovation. So next episode, I'm going to do a lot more on that one so you can see, but I wanted you to know now. There's going to be a link in the show notes, by the way, so that you can click on the link, learn more information, and also grab some tickets. I'd love to see you out there. Again, historic moment, the very first in-person Las Vegas Live show. Come out and see me. All right, now let's get into this week's episode. Before we get into the top 10, though, I definitely want to give a shout out to Vegas Near Me. Vegas Near Me is doing big things. I can't wait till you hear what's coming down the line, but just so you know, Vegas Near Me, for example, I'm planning a trip to go to Las Vegas for this entire week. What's the first thing I do? I'm not going to name all the competitors, but I'll give you a little bit of tip here. I go to vegasnearme.com, not just because they're sponsoring the show, but they're the only website that has the full amount of what to do. So just to be clear, if you don't know how this works, most websites only list the events that they're getting paid. You know, they got maybe some commission on the back end when you buy a ticket. Not Vegas Near Me. Vegas Near Me lists all the events. It's comprehensive. You don't believe me? Go check it out. vegasnearme.com. More than 65,000 pages of Las Vegas content, unmatched anywhere. And again, shows, whatever you want, like they have all of them. And so you one shop to go find what you want to do. You can also book your hotels. You can do a whole lot of other things there. Book your hotels and where you're going to stay, events, timing, all that good stuff. So just check it out. vegasnearme.com. And let's get into this week's top things to do and also what's next. So other than coming out to see me on July 7th at the Bellagio, America turns 250 and Las Vegas hosts its biggest fireworks display in its history. This is going to be insane. Also, the World Series of Poker's main event begins Thursday. The $10,000 World Championship and Illenium's Odyssey opens at Spear for 4th of July weekend. So that's high level what to do. Now let's get into the top 10 things to do in Las Vegas this week. So comedy all week, number 10 thing to do. Brad Garrett's Comedy Club and Laugh Factory. For the comedy audience this week, Las Vegas has two strong options running every night through the 4th of July holiday. Brad Garrett's Comedy Club at MGM Grand is one of the most consistent comedy rooms on the Strip, a dedicated club inside one of Las Vegas's premier resorts, booking touring headliners and established stand-ups nightly. The format is genuinely a comedy club experience. It's a room built for stand-ups with sightlines and acoustics designed for the format, rather than adapted from a showroom or arena. Be nightly at 8 p.m. at MGM Grand. You can go over to the Horseshoe Las Vegas on the Center Strip. The Laugh Factory runs nightly shows at 6:30 p.m. with Rich Little among the featured performers this week. Rich Little is one of the most celebrated impressionists in the history of American comedy. Decades of performing voices so precisely rendered that the targets themselves have acknowledged them. The Laugh Factory format gives you a 6:30 p.m. show that ends in time for dinner, the World Series of Poker main event floor, or anything else really the 4th of July weekend has going on. Both venues are on the Center Strip. VegasNearMe.com has the listing for the current show details. All right, moving on to number 9, Wizard of Oz at Sphere, 4th of July week. The Wizard of Oz runs daily at Sphere all week, and this week it holds a specific position for 4th of July visitors. That's Monday and Tuesday are the quietest Sphere days of the week, with the full showtime schedule and no competing events in the building. Wednesday, the Wizard of Oz runs afternoon shows at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. before Chesney at 8:30 p.m., making the doubleheader available for that day. So doubleheader, Wizard of Oz first, then Chesney, and that'll be Thursday through Sunday. The Wizard of Oz runs evenings at 5 and 8 p.m. and World Series of Poker main event, the 4th of July fireworks. A lot of things going on. Well, the energy filled the rest of the week of the city. For 4th of July, visitors specifically, a daytime Wizard of Oz show on Saturday before the fireworks is a smart itinerary move. The show is 75 minutes. You're inside the sphere in a controlled environment, completely removed from the strip heat and crowds. You emerge mid-afternoon with the rest of the day and evening ahead of you for the full strip spectacular at 9 p.m. Moving on to number 8, World Series of Poker 2026 main event week begins. The full World Series of Poker series continues all week at Horseshoe in Paris, Las Vegas, and this week marks the transition from the bracelet event schedule into main event territory. While the 4 main event starting flights run Thursday through Sunday, the surrounding bracket events continue daily at both venues, meaning the poker rooms are at their fullest and most electric of the entire 7-week series. Walking the floor of the Horseshoe during the main event week is a different experience than any other week of the World Series of Poker. For listeners who are not playing but want to watch, the rail access to Horseshoe during main event starting flights is one of the most genuinely extraordinary, spectacular experiences Las Vegas offers for free. Thousands of players, tens of millions of dollars in prize pools, the best professionals in the world at the same tables as recreational players who saved up a $10,000 entry for their chance at history. Walk in off the strip and stand there free. No reservation, just show up. Vegas Near Me has both the World Series of Poker listing and the main event as a separate listing. Moving on to number 7, New Kids on the Block, The Right Stuff Residency. New Kids on the Block play Dolby live on Wednesday and Friday this week, and The Right Stuff Residency continues to be one of the most enthusiastic concert experiences available in Las Vegas. The Right Stuff, Step by Step, Hanging Tough, Please Don't Go Girl, I'll Be Loving You, Donnie Wahlberg, Joey McIntyre, Danny Wood, Jordan Knight, Jonathan Knight, all 5 in Las Vegas at Dolby Live. Wednesday, July 1st is the better option this week. Friday competes with Don Toliver at MGM Grand, Illenium at Sphere, and the Aces at T-Mobile Arena. Wednesday is clean. The city is alive with the energy of the approaching holiday. The crowds have not yet peaked, and the show is the same quality it is any other night. From $86 at one of the finest acoustic rooms on the Strip, Vegas Near Me has both dates. Number 6, Kenny Chesney at Sphere, America's Summer Song on the 4th. Kenny Chesney plays Sphere on Wednesday, July 1st, the only Sphere residency night this week, which makes it the singular option for anyone who wants the Sphere experience on a quieter night before the 4th of July weekend descends on Las Vegas. The price has come down to $94 this week, which is the lowest it has been since the residency opened, and Wednesday before a holiday weekend is historically one of the best nights to be in Las Vegas. The city is full of energy, but the crowds have not yet peaked. Kenny's music is specifically built for summer, for the outdoors, for exactly the feeling that 4th of July weekend brings to Las Vegas. Inside Sphere, the catalog meets 160,000 square feet of custom visual environments designed for it from the first frame. The Sphere doubleheader is available again, like I said, Wednesday, Wizard of Oz in the afternoon, Chesney at 8:30 p.m. One night Wednesday, July 1st, 8:30 p.m. from $94, and Wednesday is worth noting for another reason. Kelly Clarkson plays the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace at 8 p.m. the same night from $75, and New Kids on the Block play Dolby at 8 p.m. from $86. 3 strong simultaneously on Wednesday, July 1st. Chesney at Sphere, Clarkson at Caesars. All different audiences, all excellent rooms. Confirmed before planning, Vegas Near Me listing currently shows 8 p.m. for Chesney at Sphere. All excellent rooms. Number 5, Las Vegas Aces, 2 home games this week. The Las Vegas Aces play 2 home games this week, bookending the 4th of July weekend. Friday, July 3rd, they host the Chicago Sky at T-Mobile Arena at 7 p.m., a great start to the holiday weekend, done by 9:30. with the full Friday night still ahead. Then Sunday, July 5th, they host the Indiana Fever at T-Mobile Arena at 4 p.m. The Fever are one of the most closely watched teams in the league this season, and the Ace Fever matchup at T-Mobile Arena on a Sunday afternoon is genuinely excellent basketball. The Aces are the defending back-to-back WNBA champions. 2 home games in 3 days from $20. Can't beat that. VegasNearMe.com has both listings. Number 4, Don Toliver plays MGM Grand Garden Arena on Friday night on the Octane Tour. Cactus Jack's most visible solo star, Toliver, has built a catalog that sits in a unique sonic space, melodic rap and atmospheric R&B influenced by Travis Scott's production sensibility, but with a distinctive voice and emotional register that is entirely his own. No Idea, Smoke, After Party, Company, Cardigan. His 2023 album, Lovesick, debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 and produced multiple chart singles. His 2024 follow-up extended both his artistic ambition and his fan base significantly. The Octane Tour is his most ambitious production to date, with reviews at every stop describing a show that matches the atmospheric quality of his recorded work in a live context. MGM Grand Garden Arena at 7:30 p.m. puts the show ending around 10 p.m., which leaves the entire rest of the July 3rd night open, or sets up a clean handoff to Illenium at Sphere at 9:30 p.m. for the dedicated night out crowd that wants 2 shows. One night, Friday, July 3rd, 7:30 p.m. from $126. VegasNearMe.com has the listing. Number 3, Illenium plays Sphere on Friday night in a special July 4th weekend production called Odyssey, and this is one of the most unique entertainment offerings on the board this week. Nicholas Miller, performing as Illenium, is a Grammy-nominated multi-platinum producer and artist who has built one of the largest and most devoted fan bases in electronic music over the past decade. Fractures, Beautiful Creatures, Gorgeous, Crawl Out of Love, Ashes, Burning Bridges. His music exists in a specific emotional register, melodic bass music that sits between electronic and alternative, that has generated billions of streams and sold out festivals headlining sets worldwide. The Odyssey production is built specifically for Sphere, which means 160,000 square feet of wraparound LED and 167,000 speakers serving music that was already designed to be immersive. On a July 4th weekend, Friday night, with the full strip spectacular happening on Saturday and World Series of Poker main event opening Thursday, 9:30 p.m. at Sphere means the show ends late, which makes it ideal for listeners who want a complete evening rather than an early night. One night, Friday, July 3rd, 9:30 p.m. from $161. VegasNearMe.com has the listing. Number 2, World Series of Poker main event, $10,000 No Limit Hold'em World Championship. The most prestigious poker tournament in the world begins this Thursday. The World Series of Poker main event opens its first 4 starting flights at Horseshoe, Las Vegas, Thursday through Sunday at 11 a.m. each day. Every player who enters on any of those 4 days competes for the same prize pool, the same bracelet, and the same title that has defined the highest achievement in poker since 1970. The championship will be decided at a final table in August after a 20-day hiatus, but the energy of the main event starting flights is unlike anything else the World Series of Poker produces all summer. Here's the thing most people don't know about the World Series of Poker main event. You can walk in off the strip and watch it for free. Walk in Horseshoe, Las Vegas, find the tournament floor, and stand within feet of the most significant poker tournament on earth. No ticket, no cover, no reservation. Recreational players sitting across from the world's top professionals all compete in the same field. Last year's main event drew more than 10,000 entries. The prize pool will be in the tens of millions of dollars. For anyone who has watched poker on television or played at a home game, walking the main event floor during the first days is a genuinely remarkable experience. Late registrations for starting flights typically remains open through the first several levels of play each day, so players who decide to enter Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday will still have time. Full schedule and registration at WorldSeriesOfPoker.com, and VegasNearMe.com has both the World Series of Poker umbrella listing and the main event as separate listings with links to the official schedule. That brings us to the number one thing to do. 4th of July is America's 250th birthday in Las Vegas. The 4th of July falls on a Saturday this year, and Las Vegas is doing something it has never done at quite this scale before. America turns 250 years old on July 4th, and the city is marking it with the Full Strip Spectacular. 9 resort rooftops igniting simultaneously in a fully synchronized firework display stretching the length of the Las Vegas Strip starting at 9 p.m. Caesar's Palace, Treasures Island, the Venetian, MGM Grand, Aria, Planet Hollywood, Resorts World Fontainebleau, the Strat, all 9 at the same moment, choreographed to music broadcast live on 3 local radio stations. The show also includes coordinated red, white, and blue resort lighting across the full boulevard and a 30-minute marquee takeover on hotel signage up and down the strip. This is the largest single fireworks event Las Vegas has ever produced. The best free viewing spots are the pedestrian bridges and wide sidewalks near Caesar's Palace, Bellagio, Paris, Aria, MGM Grand, Resort World, and Fontainebleau. Be in position by 8:15 to 8:30 p.m. at the latest. July 4th draws the largest crowds the Strip sees all year, and the good spots fill fast. Sphere's Exosphere, the 580-foot-tall LED exterior of the building, runs a special America 250 celebration at 9:30 p.m. and 11:40 p.m., visible from outside the building for free. And every Saturday between June 6th and June 25th, rotating venues fire 8-minute synchronized shows at 9 p.m. as part of the America 250 Summer Series. So if beyond the Strip, Summerlin hosts its patriotic parade at 9 a.m. with over 50,000 people expected. The Fremont Street Experience has a free George Burge concert, followed by the downtown fireworks at 9 p.m. from the Plaza Hotel. Henderson's Heritage Park celebration runs 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. with live music and fireworks. Lake Las Vegas has free fireworks over the water at 10 p.m. Every option is free or low cost. Vegas Near Me has the Independence Day listings across the city. That wraps up this week's top 10 things to do in Las Vegas. Don't forget, I will also be attending, and we'll have our very first Las Vegas live show at the Bellagio on July 7th. Click on the link in the show notes to grab tickets. I'd love to see you out there. And also, quick reminder, go to vegasnearme.com before booking anything in Las Vegas this week, whether you're watching the Full Strip Spectacular on the 4th of July, 9 rooftops simultaneously, America's 250th birthday, standing on the rail for the World Series of Poker main event at Horseshoe Las Vegas, watching Illenium at Spear on the 3rd, Don Toliver at MGM Grand, or whatever you're doing, go to vegasnearme.com because that's where the planning starts. Again, I'm your host, Adam Torres, and I look forward to seeing you next week for the top 10 things to do in Las Vegas.